Hillcrest.
Okay, Hillcrest. Is this the right place? Definitely the right
I'm
place.
gonna try out the... I just want to quickly try out the no return mode. I'm interested to see what it's like. Or that no return, the boss left. Yeah, the grounded make... They have make a take on me. You're my people, Abby. Right, let's see about this. I'm gonna try out. God, will you shut the fuck up?
You're about to play an unfinished level from The Last of Us Part 2. The reason we added this section is there are a few sequences, and we picked the 3 of the best ones, that we cut from the game. You know, often we build a game that's much bigger than what ends up being the final product. They were months away from being finished, but we wanted to give you an insight of what it's like when we built the game levels together. This is the intro to the first deleted level, and this one is the roughest of the 3. We wanted to show more of how Jackson operates. So this is the festival where Ellie ultimately kisses Dina. This sequence would have come very late in the game as a flashback sequence while you're in the farm with Dina. And we wanted to show what is the rest of Jackson doing, and wanted to put on the stick, make it interactive. You could mix drinks, you could play with these kids that are playing a sort of clicker Marco Polo, sit down and listen to conversations, and all the different interactions were first or second pass, very, very early passes. The building blocks are there, but nothing is final. And ultimately, while we were very excited, it just slowed things too much as we're barreling towards the end of the story at this point. So again, reminder, rough, missing audio, missing animation.
I'm just gonna say, you guys are gonna have to deal with some chewing because there's gonna be some important parts, and I don't want to miss out on important parts.
And missing gameplay tweaks, missing dialogue, but pretty representative of what it would have been. So enjoy.
I just don't know why people like clown on Neil Druckmann so much after that. Like, he really just isn't like that bad of a fucking like guy. I can see that's like very unfinished, my god. That's so weird, man. It's basically like they're pre-alpha like levels that were cut from the game, which could have been in it, which is kind of cool.
Originally, this level was going to transition us to farm. We would go all the way through to the dance, where Ellie and Dina share their
It's kind of weird too, my god.
Then we would play through farm, and when Ellie plays the guitar at night, she would remember the Seth incident. So, the opening for this was a little tricky.
Yeah, it's like a little sign. That's cool. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, it's okay.
You might expect emotionally coming from prior beats, because we were already purposefully disorienting you in time and space. Remember, you just came from this huge fight. To jump straight into it would have been a little too jarring. After some back and forth, we rooted it in Ellie's nerves, calling back to her hands shaking in the theater. But this time, for a much more innocuous reason we'll find out later. She's nervous because she has a crush on Dina, who is the only reason why she's here at the dance. Something we really wanted to do was highlight the way their lives had turned upside down since she went down this path. We had this idea of recontextualizing all of our usual gameplay mechanics that were designed for really violent ends. The workbench, door bashes, throwable weapons, and even the infected, which is my personal favorite. Peppered throughout the level are moments of levity or shared history. They all were before her huge revenge odyssey.
I think it could have been honestly worked, but maybe if they put this at the beginning. But I think their plan originally was to like put it at the end, so I think that was kind of the issue. Like, it seems like their original plan was to put it at like the end of the game, so I think they honestly could have really reworked. But I mean, I just think because of the fact that it took them 7 years, I mean, I don't really expect them to just rework all their content just to... Imagine spending 7 years on a game, and the moment you're almost done with the game, you're just like, wait, We gotta rework some stuff. See, no one wants to do that. No one's gonna want to do that. No one's gonna want to like rework their gameplay and like. That just disappeared. Oh no, never mind. Kind of like see how unfinished it is. I mean, sort of. It's pretty finished though for the fact that it's unfinished.
It is not a festival without one of these throwing games. This one, of course, uses our throwable system where you're often chucking explosive things or stunning things, but for a more wholesome purpose, although some people take this game really seriously. A fun aspect of this is if you did well, the baby, later back at the farm. When we cut this, the toy made it through anyway because it was so cute. It is the same one you see on the tractor at the farm. Ollie the
Okay.
elephant.
Yeah. Boink. Nice try, Ellie. Shut up. This game is rigged anyway. How did I not do good at that? I perfectly knocked them all down. That's not a oh, we go. Okay, I see. Some of them didn't fall over. That's stupid. That is rigged. I would call that rigged.
The makeup artist is pretty simple. It's one of those little in-game scenes we peppered in to make it feel like Ellie had roots in the town. Hallie, our writer, mentioned that in her mind, an ex-girlfriend of Ellie's tattooed her arm to cover up her scar. So we figured this might be the only time you get to see that. We wanted to hint at it and allude to it and make it feel like there had been so much more that had been happening and so much more that Ellie threw away. This is one of my favorite sections because I think that it achieves both the slice of life aspect of Jackson, while
I'm
also
just doing the
being a
clicker.
stark reminder of how dark the world that they live in really, really is. To attract attention and curiosity, one of the kids was supposed to make this adorable, messed up little clicker impression, and the others would giggle. We tried a version where if you got close enough, the kid might try and follow you a little before turning back. Since clickers are blind and move by echolocation, for this game of messed up tag, Ellie must close her eyes and listen for when the children give themselves away.
Oh
The
shit.
thought was that these kids
No!
are in relative safety. They still go out with the dangers of clickers and runners, and all those lessons would embed themselves in the games that they play. When the festival got cut,
Oh, can I not
they tried
do
to
that
preserve this
again?
moment and move it to the front of the game where the snowball fight is, as a tutorial. However, being in the headspace of a clicker doesn't really teach you how to deal with them. Eventually, it evolved, and they instead made the snowball
Damn
fight,
it, I
which
can't
was,
do
I think,
it.
way more effective.
I'm gonna have to try that
For
again.
me, it's character illuminating that not only does Ellie know this game, she plays along. There's a familiarity with the kids that's really nice to see, especially because it's such a difference from the Ellie we see later, who has a sort of hollow normalcy that she's trying to get with JJ, but kind of fails.
They're literally running away. They're like, oh. I love that they're just tiny humans. They're just literally tiny AI humans just running around. So silly. Can we listen to stories by the bonfire? Once upon a time, there was a man that looked like Dina. Her name was stupid fucking hoe ass Ellie, and she looked like a bitch, and she ate asshole for fish. There was a time when I was in her belly. They took it all around, and they said, "Fuck your asshole," and I'm getting up out of the chair because nothing much to do. I say, yeah, there's the woman. I think that's her. The woman from Abby's section. Oh god. The weird, nodding woman. Step aside, people. Oh my god, this is just like in Spider-Man 2! Oh shit. Damn it, man. I want to try again. I assume it would have been a lot more, like, festival-like, you know?
We use our workbench a lot to make a lot of things that kill and maim and hurt people. Here, we had the silly idea of using the same feel, harkening back to the same animations, using the exact same UI to instead fix a drink. Like the workbench, you could pick your base, and then you could add something to it. And at the time, we had some different reactions from Ellie based on how strong you chose to make the drink. Something we wanted to prototype though, big first. Sip it, psyching herself up to go talk to Dina inside because she's nervous. It got too noodly though, because she would need to keep placing it somewhere before she did anything. So it would have ended up more trouble than it was worth.
That's fair. I feel like a lot of people just don't. Also, it's just like kind of annoying that some people don't want to understand why they cut these things. It's like I do feel like they could have had them in, but you know, I understand why they felt like it would have ruined the pacing. Oh my god. Amazing. That was actually pretty good. Oh, really? That's all you can do? Why can't we, like, do it again? So we don't get to really actually win the, So like, yeah, that's the playground actually. Huh.
There's a hidden spot at the back that was just a bit of fun. It was highlighting Jackson's normalcy with something we would find in a real world. In the back, we would find teenagers finding some alone time with each other in a dark corner of a party. It was rewarding the player for peeking into a hidden corner, but ultimately redirecting them back to the festival. We also had versions of them smoking weed here, despite Maria's consternation, probably having gotten it from Eugene.
Eugene gave them the marijuana. That's pretty cool, honestly. I love how they got like these little things. Anything else? Ah. Am I missing any? I hope I'm not missing too much. They definitely seem to be very short levels. They're not really too long. I plan on doing them all. Do you hug Maria? Oh, there's Tommy. That's funny, man. I'll do one I did now. I'm just gonna do the next one. I'm sure to do the next one.
And get swept.
This reminds me so. It's so
we
like.
cut this section that used to be there in the final game.
It's so much like playing an old
play.
video game from like
So
back
this
in
was
the
a way
day.
to get a bit more interesting puzzles, interesting traversal, figure out how Ellie can navigate.
Oh
the
damn!
sewers
It's
and
actually like in development
ultimately,
stages. Oh my
with a lot
god!
of these levels and these sequences, the reason why we cut.
Why do I love that so much?
But here it is for you in this very kind of raw form. That part of it will feel finished, parts of it will feel like assets are missing as far as audio, animation won't be final, but it's a glimpse into what a game looks like when it's months away from finishing. Enjoy.
That is so cool. Holy shit, bro. Maybe I'm like the opening. I don't have to do anything, do I? Oh. I might have to. Okay. How different is this gonna be? Oh shit. The same little opening second. Seems a bit different for the entrance. Oh boy. That's like the same. Okay, yeah, no, this is different. Oh! Oh, how far are we going? Oh! Oh, that's dope. Oh, this is neat.
Seattle.
Still says fuck Seattle.
Okay. Where the hell am I?
This level, internally known as Find Nora, was quite long in duration as we had to make Ellie traverse a far distance to the opposite side of downtown Seattle. The sewer section was originally longer than what we released the game with, approximately 10 minutes more. This was one of the few areas of the game that used water flow as part of a traversal puzzle. The player has to go upstream to use the current to get to the platform to reach the other side. We mostly kept this mechanic game-wide, however it remained in essence in the sense of swimming to the aquarium as Ellie when you were avoiding the waves.
Yeah. Oh, it's sort of similar actually.
When the players reach the doorway and enter into the room, they're faced with a dead end. The real reason for this dead end room is that on the reversal, when exiting back out of the doorway, players are faced with the route onwards. A pipe that they'd not been able to see when they were swept past it on the way in, and something that was hidden from view when on the side platforms. The intention here being that the only option is to go off the standard path in order to search for a way out.
Okay, that's pretty neat. Oh.
Get me the hell out of here.
Throughout the rest of the level, we also used light to indicate to the player that they were heading in the right direction. At each turn, however, we blocked the direct route forward. Players would know that they just have to keep finding alternative paths, promoting those feelings of being desperate and trapped.
It's very like yellow paint
We
vibe,
slowly
yeah.
introduced
Kind
the
of like
player to
how
consider
Uncharted
climbing
is.
into smaller pipes and crouching in these tight spaces. This is to slowly build up to and encourage the player to climb into such a small pipe that they'd have to be crawling on their stomach, which is something that the player previously may not have recognised as a playable space, let alone the desired route they need to
Piece of
take.
shit. Up and out. Just keep going up and out.
We
Oh,
added
yeah.
a tiny
Just
space
keep going
just
up and
to
out.
reward the player's exploration with a pickup item, and we made sure it was something that made sense that you'd find in this area. A canister and all the garbage that had been washed into the sewers from the surface. We loved the idea of making Ellie prone through a tiny dirty pipe in order to get out, as it was a great opportunity to use our prone mechanic.
Yeah.
A unique camera setup was created to support crawling in these pipes, as the standard prone camera is much higher above the player. We also
Don't lose your
created
shit,
custom
Ellie.
collision in order for Ellie to manoeuvre in these tight spaces easily.
Don't lose your shit,
Initially,
Ellie.
the oblong collision capsule around her character caused issues crawling around corners. We put extra effort into the custom corner collision, so the movement experience is as smooth as the main game.
True, true, true.
In order for the player to feel cramped, claustrophobic and desperate, we'd been enforcing the traversal mechanics that allow for a tight environment which promote these feelings. We introduced the use of the squeeze through so that we can keep the player feeling enclosed and tight, but without repeating the same geometry. Here we change from low ceilings with wider walls to high ceilings and tight walls to change up the spatial pacing and keep the level from repeating itself.
Fuck Fuck you, universe.
Shitty place to die.
Real shitty place.
Originally, we had the waterline much higher here, so players had to swim through this tight tunnel. However, from watching user test feedback, it was occasionally causing people to without the prone swim. It's the better decision as it means a smoother experience for the player with no backtracking frustration.
Yeah.
As we surface from the water and over the crest of the slope, we reveal what is further in this tunnel. A clicker
I feel like
that
this would have been
sprouted
really
into
like
fungus that's
cramped
grown
as a
outside
level.
the
Like
pipe.
it's cool as an
It's great
idea
to
as
see
a cut
people
level,
user
but
tested this area, becoming increasingly worried as we force the player to squeeze past the fungus
yeah.
inches away from the clicker's face, all the time not being sure whether the clicker might be alive or attack them. Although we aren't as cruel as to force a clicker attack in such close proximity, we do have a payoff for this moment. This clicker momentarily turned into Joel to show Ellie's PTSD from what happened to Joel at the start of the game. Ultimately, we decided to save this moment for the farm level, as it was more impactful there because it could become the centrepiece of that experience. Whereas in the sewers, we weren't able to make it as much of a narrative point and give it the breathing room and reaction time that it deserves, given the tight space. We draw the player towards this pipe as it's seemingly the route out of the tight space. Fairly soon, it is obvious that this path is blocked. If the player goes all the way up to the bars that block the path, they are rewarded with a pickup, so this journey doesn't feel wasted. It was important to encourage the player to try to progress along this path so that they would subtly be thinking of progress in this direction. We hint to the player that there is a bigger, new space beyond this pipe by showing the player the waterfall. This helps players consider the other route where they don't know how far the tunnel is or whether they'd make it.
gotta see this, man. Yeah. Oh, damn. That could have been cool, honestly, but...
Oh, shit!
Again, I feel like it's kind of a bit like, you know, cliche, like most games do, where it's like, oh, you saw Joel's face in a sewer. Oh, it's so... It's like, yeah, it's cool and I like it, but... You know... It's been done, like, so many times before that it's just like... Okay, here's a bit of, like, where that original...
In the final section, we eventually opened you out into a wider area as you traverse through such tight spaces leading up to this. So changing the environmental pacing makes it begin to feel like we're coming to the end of Ellie's ordeal. An earlier iteration used
Yeah,
the
here's the main area.
start for a slightly tougher traversal puzzle to conclude the series.
Just ends the same
Ladder
way.
was clearly visible from most of the area, but the player was faced with a fast-flowing torrent of water they couldn't cross. If the player attempted to jump into the water, they were not able to swim across the ladder due to the water's speed. But instead, they had to traverse the pipe running along the top of the space in order to get across the water.
It's pretty damn cool. I can definitely see why it was cut though, because it's like it's a very like short
Using this
level,
pipe was
very
retained in the iteration
cramped.
we shipped with, as it's the last of the extreme methods Ellie has to undergo in order to escape the sewers, and what she will go through in her pursuit of revenge.
I just feel like it would have been a little bit cramped and just a little bit too much like. So I don't know. I don't think I would have like wanted it to be like I don't know. I feel like that would have been a little bit more unnecessary stuff, but you know, it would have been cool to
we
keep
liked how
in.
this last segment of the journey built anticipation for whether there was success at the top or not after all you've been through. Ultimately, the ladder exits out into the subway station, which is how it connects in the final game. Ellie then has to find her way to the hospital from here, crossing paths with the scars for the first time.
Yep. I thought it feels like they showed like there was gonna be like a lot. It feels like there was not as much as they showed in the screenshots, but okay. That's fine though. I think they're pretty neat little glimpses into like what could have been. So I think that's kind of like what they're mostly for. Is like they're really neat little glimpses into like what could have been, what we could have gotten, but what we didn't. But I think I'm still okay with the way it was in the final. I don't really see how they're that like. I don't know. They're cool and all, but I do think they're understandable why they were cut.
What we call the boar hunt sequence.
I just don't think it really. None of them are really that like special to the point where they're like, oh, that would have been cool, but
Abby
it still would. I mean,
where,
it would have been awesome
Abby
to have.
spares
But
Ellie. And then we wanted to come back into Ellie's story, but keep it a bit mysterious of how much time has passed, where is Ellie now? So we're coming in on Ellie, and she's following a trail of blood. And we wanted to mirror, in a way, the she can't let go of this violence. She's pursuing it, even against this innocent animal. This was another opportunity to show how the violence that Ellie has experienced, the violence that she witnessed being afflicted onto Joel, is still sticking with her. And she's still experiencing these PTSD moments. That you can play, you can see all the way to the end, and including a cinematic that we end up cutting. And the remnants of the sequence ended up being mentioned in Ellie's journal. So this part of the story that we developed still made its way into the game.
It's cool to see how all this stuff like does show up in the game.
So as a reminder, this is pretty rough, months away from being finished, but you get to see it now.
I was also kind of hoping the sewer would be a little more like larger, but you know. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. We've never gotten to play as her like this with this outfit. I think I might just honestly skip the, I think I'm just gonna skip the fucking things for now, because I feel like all they're gonna do is really spoil the level, and I don't want that. So I think I'm gonna just play it as is, and then I'll go back through it with the developer commentary. Feels more like a Last of Us experience when you're not. Do I have to find like the boar or something? I think I could kind of see why these would have been a little bit, especially like a little bit like confusing at first, because I don't think I would have really like known where to go had this been like the final finished product. Like, it feels like there would have been a lot of like hardness with these levels. Like, it's like, yeah, they're cool. So they're cool stuff, but there's just like, you know. They're a little too like open. I don't know, I mean not open, but just like kind of a little too like crossing paths for my liking of. Yeah, it's not bad though. I do like it.
Gotcha.
Here's where the main boar hunt. Is there actually a boar though? Is there the boar? No, the boar's not there. Dude, this is interesting. Look at this. Things we could have gotten, bro. I think like the boar hunt, I definitely think could have stayed in, and we could have like played through that. I think that would have maybe added a bit. I think if anything, like the dance level and the boar hunt would have been the sewer level was a little bit just kind of like kind of just very simple. It wasn't really that special, but the first one was pretty cool. They could have added that in, honestly. It's kind of ruining the immersion almost, but you know, whatever. Wow. Full blackness. This honestly would have been cool to keep in. I think I would have really enjoyed that. This. Yeah, very unfinished. Oh fuck! Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Oh crap! Bruh. Oh my god. We have to hunt a boar.
Got you.
Oh crap. Oh!
It's over. Nowhere to run.
Oh! Okay.
You're done.
Damn, Ellie. Maybe actually, hold on. I like remembering Joel. Damn. That would have been really neat. I think that could have worked.
Third and
I'm gonna
final
go ahead
deleted level.
do
what we
the
call
director commentary now. That honestly could have worked though. That they really could have kept that in. Just finish it up a little more and could have had a bit more of like a. That just would have been so cool. Man.
Where are you?
That would have been neat, bro. That really would have been neat. That probably could have ended up becoming like one of my favorite sections of the game towards the end. Like I think I would have loved that so much.
So
I can see why they
the
cut it
was
still,
one of the
but it's
hardest
like
levels for me to work on. It was a huge challenge with the systems that we had, and we kept trying, but it never felt quite right. Originally, the level happened after the Jackson Festival, which also got cut, but before Farm.
oh.
Once the festival got cut, it became the prologue to Farm. The intended experience is that we jump forward in time after the fight with Abby in the theater. We don't know where Dina is. We likely assume she's dead because she was just bleeding out. Ellie is alone. Her hair is short. So maybe this is the future or the present. And she's hunting. Hunting who? Abby still?
No. Not Abby. I'm just gonna go back to the developer commentary. Whoa. Oh, that's just a rock, okay.
I lose it.
How'd you lose it, Ellie? You've lost it, Ellie! It's like really cool to see like just new content. It's kind of like, I mean, I thought it was gonna be a bit longer. But I think just having like a glimpse of new content in the game is like a little bit cool. Like cut things that we could have had, man.
In early iterations of the fight, it was more arena-like. The player slowly whittles down the boar's health. Ellie gets more visceral and more vicious. We get a little worried about her. As the boar gets weaker, more panicked, more feral, and we start feeling sympathetic to the boar, was the hope. In all of these iterations, especially of these wider areas, it required custom AI and scripting to make sure it continued to feel organic as an animal, but we really needed it to do specific stuff. It needed to be able to close distances really, really quickly. It needed to charge to attack, but we wanted the feeling of hunting, so we needed to track it down from afar. And we also needed to discourage the player from attacking the boar when it's that close, or it would kind of turn into this melee kerfuffle. How do we do this in our world while keeping the boar believable?
Yeah.
We must have gone through 5 or 6 iterations of the boar fight and all, and every single time it changed pretty drastically. We split it into clear phases, where one was like all long range. We tried another where you're getting close and you get to jump on it quite literally. You're jumping off of a rock to attack it. And then finally, we tried a bunch where you almost sort of go around a bunch of trailers and try and wrestle it. We uncovered after some time that taking down a boar over several phases felt very laborious and a little dramatic. It was comically long. It felt too boss-like, a little too gamey.
Fighting a boar.
And we opted for a cold open after the boar had already.
I still would have really enjoyed that though.
So
but
that allowed us to focus on feeling like
I can understand.
closing in
Like
on
it would have felt a
to
lot like
introduce
a
the boar,
Yakuza
but it was
level,
its
like going
most
like, oh my god, we gotta fight a
already
boar.
hurt,
Pew,
already feral, much too close for comfort.
Oh,
And so the thinking was
like just
bring
running
someone to
around.
Ellie's mindset. Is this really hunting for food, or is she hunting for some other reason?
yeah. That's
The gas
so cool.
station was built to highlight the boar's destructiveness. Since it's cramped, the boar feels larger. We also feel trapped with it, though perhaps it's trapped with us. When it charges, it gets to us quickly, so we must be on our toes. This made it more aligned with Ellie's sort of hunting for trouble mindset. Listening became more important, as well as moving around slowly so it didn't hear you. Could you spot it before it saw or heard you? And could you get a shot off quickly enough so you could dodge out of the way? Or is the shot worth the cost after? It feels like a gamble. By the end of the fight, everything would likely be in shambles, the boar would burst through the back, and Ellie would follow it and finally enact revenge.
Everything is already kind of in shambles. I'm guessing it was originally. Oh shit. Oh crap. You actually like. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay, that is ridiculous. That is some ridiculous ass shit, bro. Oh god!
Got you.
What the fuck? That is ridiculous. This is like, it's definitely pretty ridiculous, I'd say, but it's pretty fun though. Ooh.
Nowhere to run.
Nowhere to run. So cool. Oh my god. So awesome.
The boar kill was supposed to be anything but glorious. With the boar whimpering at the back of the gas station after Ellie's relentless hunt. After this, hearing the drone that we kind of come to associate with Ellie's trauma, we would hard cut to the stream where she's washing her hands and holding
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. You asshole. No, I didn't want to do that. I need to hear the rest of that. Fuck. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't hear the whole thing of that. I need to hear the rest of that. I did not get to hear it. Oh, come on. Come on, skip the cinematic. I gotta go back. Is there any, like... No journal entries. What even is that noise?
Gotcha.
What the fuck? Yeah. I gotta do this again.
I can't see shit.
He's like, I can't see shit. It's like it's pure daylight in here. I gotta do this on grounded, bro. I should probably put this on ground. Wonder if it would actually be harder on grounded.
Got you.
Oh my lord. Nowhere to run. Alright, let's
The boar kill was supposed to be
do
anything
this.
but glorious. With the boar whimpering at the back of the gas station after Ellie's relentless hunt. After this, hearing the drone that we kinda come to associate with Ellie's trauma, we would hard cut to the stream where she's washing her hands and holding rabbits that she hunted, about to return to Dina. And there would be no mention of the boar.
Damn. Still pretty cool. I like this scene the most, where it's kind of like a reflection of Joel. It kind of like reminds her that, like, that's so cool, man. That's probably like the best part of it, man. It's so crazy how they actually have like an animated. That's some awesome shit, man. Why is that so freaky to see? Oh my god, I'm so tired. Reflections, man. I think what I want to do is also, I want to check out, there's one, because I swear I missed like a developer commentary over here, and I need to like go back through it. That's like really cool though, I love that.
That is unfortunately it. I did not end up like clipping the developer commentary I missed. It was just an extra one, I think I forgot to get. I don't remember, but yeah, it's not too important.